good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are watching us live or watching us in a replay. This is Merly Bolden, and I am today with the ladies. Debbie is not here with us today, but we have Nicole. Nicole is a best friend of Leon, so we have her while ago, and it's been really a great opportunity to have Nicole with us today. But before we continue, I would like to ask my business partners to introduce themselves first. Beth, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Beth. I'm now coming back to Taiwan, just moving back for more than a month. So, kind of still adjusting back the life here. But I'm really grateful that, I have found this online business more than 5 years ago because my life has been really changed. And I think today we are going to interview Nicole and she will share her, story and then we can really get inspired by her as well. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Beth. How about you, Leon?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, as Melly said, I'm Nicole's best buddy. And I live here in Sydney, Australia, and I've been running a digital business now for 6 years. And I'm a mum, a wife, a grandmother. And yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, Nicole. I'm
Yeah,
excited to
thank
hear.
you, Nick. So yeah, my name is Merly Bolden. I've been an online business owner for 5 years and a half, and I'm mother of two boys and mother of two dogs, and also a wife, originally from the Philippines, and living here in Wisconsin, USA now. And today, we have Nicole. And before we continue with the questions, I would like to ask Nicole about herself first, and then I will go from there. So, Nick, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Nicole Masseque and I live in Wollongong in Australia. So I live along the beach and I have a beautiful son who is 20 years old and I have two cats and they terrorize the house. And that's me.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for being here with us. And today we have questions for Nicole. And Beth, would you like to go first?
Yeah, Leanne, could you put on the banner?
Oh, yes. Just
Thank you.
I'm totally ready for it, as you can see. Okay, here we go.
So, Nicole, thank you for being here with us. So, we'd like to know what made you decide to start the business and how long have you been in the business?
Yeah. So I decided to become a digital business owner really because my life got turned upside down. So I used to be an associate director at a university. So I was in the career that I thought I really wanted and loving, like it was very stressful, but I loved it because I was working in student engagement. I was working everything from students all the way up to like the vice chancellor. And one day I was running like orientation week and I was at a student international welcome sitting right next to the vice chancellor. I just did my speech and my phone is going wild in my pocket. And I thought there was a critical incident on campus. But it was actually a critical incident in my household. My son was at school and the school was trying to contact me. Then they contacted all the emergency contacts and the emergency contacts were trying to contact me to let me know he was being rushed to hospital. That day changed my life forever. I wish he had broken his leg or had appendicitis or something that could be fixed straight away, but it wasn't that at all. Like that took us on a journey. So I was trying to look after my son as a sole parent and also be this amazing associate director doing this really big job, and like everything just didn't work. Nothing worked. I was doing it, but I didn't feel like I was doing anything well. I felt like I was juggling, you know how you sort of juggle balls, and I just felt like they were falling down everywhere. And I just didn't have time. Like I didn't have time to do my job. I didn't have time to get Declan to try and go to appointments, and which I made time because that's the most important thing, right? Like, what else are you going to do? You know, but I ended up needing, after a year of trying to juggle things, I needed to stop working and just focus on Declan. And he was going to like 6 or 7 appointments a week. And I luckily was able to get a redundancy. So I had like a year of finances where I could just focus on him and take him to all these appointments. But it was coming close to the end of that year, and I was like, I need to get a job, or I need to be working. I need to be doing something. And I was so stressed. Like, Leanne was there with me, and honestly, the worst time in my life, because my son has chronic pain. So that day in February, when he was starting his second year of high school, all his pain receptors turned on and never turned off. Never. Like, they are still on now. He manages it much better now that it's 6 years on, but it was really tough. And I needed something that I could do around all of those medical appointments. And it's not just the appointments. You think, 6 or 7 appointments, that's achievable. They were all over Sydney. So most of the appointments, I'd be traveling an hour or so away. And part of it was trying to discover what was going on with my son. The other part was trying to really just manage that pain, because he would pass out from being in so much pain. Like, I thought he was, the first time he passed out, I thought he was faking it. Like, I hate to say it, but we were on our way to school, and I was just trying to get him to school for an hour a day, and he just fell on me. And I'm like, dude, you're going to cause a car accident. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this is like, I had to pull over, and like, could you just for 1 second imagine if someone you love was going through that? How can you go to work, a normal job? How can you prioritize that compared to your son? This business literally saved my life, because I then got so consumed in what was happening with my son's life, I forgot about me. And I thought I knew a lot. Like, I was in a really great job, right? I thought I knew a lot of things. And then I got stuck in this medical world, and I really knew nothing. I was second guessing everything. They couldn't find out what was going on with my son. There was no cure. There was no way to fix things. And it was all just, oh my gosh, what? I pretty much cried a lot. I cried a lot. And I tried to be strong. I still try to be strong. You know, I was cranky because he missed out on all those high school things. He never had a high school formal. He never had, friends coming over and hanging out all night and getting in trouble for making too much noise. He never had that. And so I lost part of me. So that's why I started this business, because I had nothing left. There was nothing left in my tank. And Leanne had actually sent me a link months before. She started her business 12 months before. And honestly, 12 months before that, I was in a whole world of hurt. It wasn't the right time for me. But when I got to that stage where it was like, oh my gosh, I actually have to get a job or have to do something, I actually went for an interview. It was actually with her daughter's company. They asked me to come and have an interview, but it was in the city. So it was like an hour travel each way, working 8 hours a day. And I'm like, how do I get Declan to his appointments every week? How do I get him to school? He was supposed to be trying to go to school for an hour a day. It just couldn't work. So 11 o'clock at night, I actually found that link that Leanne sent me, and I watched the replay of that video, and I started to get excited. I started to think, oh, I think I could do this. And then by the end of it, I'm like, I think I'm actually really good at this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it all then. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to see Leanne tomorrow. I'll do it in front of her because I want to see how excited she is. And then her daughter was sick, so we couldn't do that. But I did it anyway. And that's when I started. That is when my world changed. And I'm so, so grateful. So grateful to Leanne. So grateful to both Beth and Merle for, over 4 years of support and care. And I am me again. In fact, I feel like I am definitely more than I was 5 years ago. This is actually, if it wasn't for my son, and it's hard to say, but for him having to go through such a terrible time, I wouldn't have looked for a business. I would have been sitting pretty. I would have been, okay, I got this. But you know how sometimes there's that breaking moment, like that pivotal moment? That was my moment. And as rubbish as it was in certain ways, it actually opened the doors. Open doors. And I'm here now.
Thank you so much, Leg. Go ahead, Beth.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Nicole, thank you
Nicole.
for sharing so much authentically and all your story with us, because I cannot really imagine, all throughout these years and how much you have been go through. And just I don't know what to say to be honest, because I can, through the work that you are sharing with us, it's already so much pain. Well, yeah, so the day that your son, you got a call. So I think that's your biggest why, and why you are so successful now, because your why is so pain. So I think that's why you are so work so hard, and then you want to provide more for your son, for your family, and also yourself. Because I can really imagine, like, because as a mom, you cannot really, you want your son to be best and then to be healthy, and then but you have a job, so like for a 9 to 5 job, you cannot really have so much time, so much flexibility for him. So I think this is the best decision that you have made for your son, and also for yourself, your family, because you're going to have all this that you can manage, and also to be there for him. I think that's how I can feel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Nick. I heard back then about how your story, but today it's more clear to me that what is really going on. And in your case, probably a lot of people would say you have the best job. You're very successful, and all those things that people can think when you are working in a big company, universities, like you did. Like you mentioned, sometimes things happen, and it's always be good to have that backup plan. So Nicole is here with us today, and that's so great, Nick, that you are able to share with us the story of your life, why you are able to join in this business. So how do you balance your life now? I know that you still take care of your son, of course, and you have this online business and all these appointments. And like you said, your son is still having those pains. So how do you juggle all those things? Even though you and Leanne is having a good time playing cards, those are a fun time that you guys have. So, how do you manage your time?
Oh, look, my life now is so different to what it was back then. Since I started this business, like Declan's pain, like we've been able to manage it stably, and I ended up doing some some part-time work, and then I started doing engagement work, which I love doing. So I ended up going back to full-time work plus having my business, but my work was flexible enough to take Declan to appointments. because I ended up working for a disability service, which that was, you know, pivotal in what we were doing. But earlier this year came the time where it's like, actually, no, I'm going to quit my full-time job. I'm going to do this business full-time. I could do some contract work for, like, I'm doing some contract work for a lady who has cancer, and like she has a story to tell. And I'm actually using all the skills that I've gotten from previous work, but particularly from this business, to help her tell her story. And that is like what I call my love project. Like, that is, I just love enabling her story to be told. And for me, this is it. This is my key thing. I am here 1,000% for my business. And my son is my biggest champion. He doesn't want to be on videos or things like that specifically, but I just love this community so much. And when I'm having a down day, I know I can reach out to you guys. And I know that we do so much work within this business on mindset and on walking through the journey. So I know Merle mentioned that she sees me having fun with Leanne playing cards. Like, that is how we keep the joy. Like, I love to actually focus on the joy for each day. So even if you're having a really tough day, find something to be happy about. It might be a text message that you've gotten from someone. It might be a flower that you look at. But I really do. I'm very much a glass half full person. And, you know, has life been super easy? No. Has there been some super high, really great times? Yep, awesome. And then some not so great times? Yep. But I think everyone has some form of that in their life. It might not be as full on as, you know, your child being rushed to hospital, but there's always something going on in people's lives. And 90% of the time, the biggest problem with people is their own thought. It's like, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or I don't have time. I mean, I used to do my posts and things while I was sitting at medical surgeries waiting, or sitting at a hospital bed waiting for people to come around. But you make the most out of it. And now, like, Leanne and I have been running Gather and Grow events in Australia for the last 2 days. So they're events where all these online digital business owners actually get together face to face. And I love it. And I've been the MC, which is really like a privilege to get up and talk in front of people and let them know, like, bring them education, let them know more so that their business is successful. And I'm so passionate about helping people to grow their business. And it doesn't matter if they're connected with me financially or not. I just love enabling others. So all the skills that I've learned over, you know, I've managed all different areas of life for the past 30 years. I use that here and I help upskill everyone else. So, and I'm off to Rome to a conference. Like, I'm helping with the conference that's in Rome later this year. There's more things happening, maybe New Zealand, but I'm off to Fiji next year for a conference as well. So I'm helping with that. So I really love that sort of where you can be online and then come into that in person and just see people that have known each other online and then can give each other huge hugs. Like, I've met all of you guys. Like, it was like we've known each other forever, right? When we caught up in Canada. And that's also massive. Like, I never thought I'd go overseas again because my son was so sick. And now, like, when I went to Canada, like, my mum came and stayed with him to make sure he was okay. Whereas now it's like, oh, I'm going to go over to Europe for 3 weeks. And mum said, oh, well, we'll come and stay. And it's like, I think he's okay. I think he's all right. which is phenomenal. So yeah, how's my life changed? Massively, massively.
Mindset is definitely one of the things that I've heard in your testimony, Nick. So that is really great to all of us who are, struggling on things. You can change your life through your mindset also. Find a way that make you happy. Like you said, Nick, the flower. If you say flower, find something that make it what is it all about. So, Lee, anything? What do you want to ask Nicole?
Nicole, I think it is just a wonderful experience that you found this business, that this business came into your life when it did, because, I know there's a lot of people out there that, they start a digital business and then they want to tell the world about it, but they don't quite know how to get that message across. But the reality is your timing might not line up with your friends and family, and it might just not be the right time for them when you start. And Nicole started her own journey for her own business a year later after I was doing it. And Nicole often tells the story. You could hear me like thousands of miles away shouting for joy because she joined me in the business. And it was true. I was so excited for her to start her own business. And Nicole, but what has been an absolute privilege and a joy for me is to see how much strength that you were able to take from the community, how have evolved over that time as an amazing leader in the business, standing on your own 2 feet. Um, yes, we are Leanne and Nicole. People. I heard PB actually say something on a chat. I got to meet Leanne and Nicole in Sydney, and I think like we've become a little bit of a that's who we are. We're two. But Nicole has her own amazing business, and she's an amazing leader, and it's such a joy that I've been able to share this experience with you, because it really is an amazing business to be involved in, to design the life that we want to create for ourselves. And I know I feel like I'm, just singing everybody's tune right now, because we all feel so connected. And thank you so much for joining us today to share your story. And we're still walking through. There are still things in your life that are hard. And just because you find this business doesn't mean that life all of a sudden becomes like this little rosy, that life is smooth sailing. We're all going to have those moments where it's up and down, but this community certainly gives you tips on how to cope in those times, and how to walk forward and walk through those moments with a lot of support at hand. And yeah, I just love you to the moon and back, my friend. And I'm
Right back
super
at you.
proud. Yeah. I'm super proud of what you've achieved. And yeah, thanks, Merle.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lee. Oh my goodness, your friendship, guys, is so amazing. Seeing you both in Canada. Hopefully next year we'll see each other again. It's really incredible. So this is definitely what the business can do for us. Change our life, change our mindset, and if there's some storms in our life, we have someone to connect to and talk to each other. To just have some chat. So, anything else that you guys want to talk about? Beth, do you have another question or
Not for now.
okay?
I think Nicole has already shared it all, and
Yeah,
we can all feel her energy
yeah,
because she's really a very, how do you, just when you are around her, you will feel she's so happy, and you can, I will be happy too. So I love her energy very well.
yeah.
Yeah, hope we can see each other very soon.
Yes, I hope so. So, thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone, for watching us and supporting us. And we'll see you again next week. So, bye for now.